in under the chapter crop production and management. At first, why we should add manure and fertilizers? We all know, we have studied that plants need minerals and nutrients, and they take it from the soil for good growth and development. So it needs minerals and nutrients. Soil provided, and by the roots it is absorbed by the water, and minerals are absorbed by the soil. And our crop also, during crop production, requirement of minerals and nutrients is important. But what happens when continuous crop production occurs in the same field? They will absorb more and more nutrients from the soil, and as a result, your soil will become deficient in nutrients. To replenish the soil, to fulfill the nutrients, requirement of nutrients, and manure and fertilizers are added to the soil. So these are the substances which are added to the soil in the form of nutrients for the healthy growth of plant, and are called manure and fertilizers. So these substances, manure and fertilizer, provide nutrients and minerals to the soil. As a result, whatever crop you are producing will give high yielding, and you will be happy for that. So manure and fertilizers, these were the requirement of your crop. So at first we will discuss about the manure. Manure is obtained by decomposition of plants and animal wastes. As we all know, microorganisms are present in the soil, and some of the earthworms are also present. So these microorganisms act on the plant and animal waste, and they decompose it. As a result, nutrients present in these waste material will get mixed into the soil, and then they will increase the fertility of soil. So that is the manure. Manure, we have already studied about the composting and vermicomposting. Organic waste materials which are biodegradable are decomposed by the microorganisms, and by the process of composting means all the organic waste materials are dumped into the soil and cover it with the soil. After some time it will convert into manure. Vermicomposting is also done to enhance the process of composting. The speed of the composting will be done rapidly. So these are the ways by which manure are prepared. Manure is eco-friendly, means it will never create any type of pollution, and will also contain nutrients which are essential for your crop production. Next is fertilizers. Fertilizers are the chemical substances which are produced in the factories. So whatever nutrients are required by the crop, these are added in this fertilizer, because it is man-made, so we know better what amount or what percentage of nutrients is required. So we mix these nutrients in their proper percentage, and as a result fertilizers are made, and these fertilizers are added to the soil to give proper nutrients to your crop. Now, examples of fertilizers are urea, ammonium sulfate, superphosphate, potash, and NPK. NPK means nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. These are three important substances which should be present in the soil for your crop production. And fertilizers have good quantity of these nutrients. So it is also very good, but excessive amount of fertilizers will make the soil less fertile. So it should be used properly. properly or in a proper amount, not in an excess amount. Fertilizers also create water pollution. So wherever possible, you should avoid the use of fertilizers, and in place of that, you should use fertilizers because it is eco-friendly. It will never create any type of pollution. And the use of manure gives 3 benefits to your soil. At first, it improves the soil texture. The texture of your soil becomes powdery, and if the manure is added, and water retaining capacity will be increased, means soil will absorb more quantity of water, which is good for your crop. And third one is it will fulfill the requirement of nutrients of the soil, which is very good, essential for the crop production. So in these 3 ways, manure benefits your crop. So soil should be enriched with the manure. So it is very important to add these manure and fertilizers. Children, suppose you are not taking balanced diet, means all the nutrients are in a proper amount are not taken by you. Then what will be the effect? The effect will be poor growth, and you can also suffer with the malnutrition. In the same way, if your crop is not getting minerals and nutrients in proper amount, then yielding will be affected, and you will not get that grain which you are growing in a good amount. So it is very important. Do a simple activity. Take 3 glasses and label them as A, B and C. In the first glass A, mix the soil with some of the manure, means eco-friendly and obtained by composting of biodegradable waste. So mix it with the soil and fulfill in the glass A. In the glass B, you have to take soil and add some of the fertilizers, and then fulfill it in the glass B. And then glass C, you have to take soil only, no any adding of manure or fertilizer. Now germinate some of the seeds. Whatever seed you want to take, you can take, and some of the equal number of seedlings will be inserted in all 3 glasses. After that, you have to give them equal amount of water regularly. After 7 to 10 days, just observe these 3 glasses. What will you observe? That growth is not equal in all 3 glasses. The glass B will show maximum growth because it has fertilizers, and fertilizers have all the nutrients in a fixed amount, in a fixed proportion, whatever required by the plant. And the second number in production will go to the glass A, which has manure, and glass B will show very poor growth without fertilizer or without manure. So in this way, fertilizers and manure are very necessary, important for your crop. This activity is given in your NCERT book. You can read it thoroughly. Now, if your soil becomes deficient in nutrients, besides adding manure and fertilizers, what you can do to improve the fertility of soil or to maintain the balance of nutrients in the soil? There are 3 ways. At first, field fallow. Leave your field uncultivated, means no any absorption of nutrients from the soil, and some of the biodegradable waste will be naturally will be collected in your uncultivated field, and decomposition of these plant and animal waste or organic waste or biodegradable waste will occur by the microorganisms. As a result, all the nutrients present in these bodies will be mixed into the soil, and in this way, field fallow is effective to replenish the soil with nutrients. So it is one of a way in which you can fulfill the nutrient availability or deficiency. Next is crop rotation. Just change the crop whatever you are producing. In the first season, if you have produced wheat, then in the next season just produce paddy or rice, whatever you have, you just change the crop. That is the crop rotation. What will be the effect on the soil of this crop rotation? It will affect the amount of nutrient present in the soil, because if you are doing a single crop, it will absorb some of the nutrients, and in the next crop it will absorb another nutrient. So balance of, and after that, if you are growing in the first crop in the next season, it will be, the soil will be replenished at that time. So you have to follow it. Crop rotation is the method to replenish the soil with nutrients. And nitrogen fixation. We have already studied about the rhizobium bacteria in class 7. So it is also very effective in replenishing the nutrient requirement in the soil. You have to choose some of the leguminous family plants or pulses plant and just produce it into your field. And the roots of leguminous plants contain root nodules which has rhizobium bacteria and is responsible for nitrogen fixation. So it will also replenish the nitrogen requirement. So that is also way to replenish your soil with the nutrients. These are the another ways besides adding manure and fertilizer. But you have to check the soil, what nutrient is required for that in that soil, and then select that fertilizer, or you can add manure. But manure should be preferred because it is eco-friendly. It will not create any of the water pollution, and it is beneficial for your crop also. Now students, we will compare manure with the fertilizers. As I already told you that manure is a substance which increases the water retaining capacity of soil. Means soil will absorb more and more water. It improves the texture of soil. It also increases the amount of air present. It allows the air to enter into the soil. And most important, increases the nutrients, amount of nutrients in the soil. So let's compare manure with the fertilizers. So at first, fertilizer is an inorganic salt. As we all know that it is a chemical substance. It is prepared in the factories and naturally man-made. So inorganic substances are present, and that's why inorganic salt. While manure is organic substance. As I told you, it is obtained by composting and vermicomposting processes of organic waste material or biodegradable waste material like vegetable peels, human and animal excreta, plant waste material, etc. So it is organic substance and it will never create any of the pollution. Water pollution is created by fertilizers. Next is, it does not provide any humus to the soil. Humus is the top layer of the soil profile, and it is made by the decomposition of plant and animal waste. So it is the most fertile layer of the soil. So fertilizer never provide humus to the soil, while manure provide a lot of humus to the soil. So it is beneficial. Very rich in plant nutrients like NPK. It means nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. These three substances are here. It is very rich in plant nutrients. Yes, because all these three substances are present and in the right proportion. these are present because it is under human control. So we mix it in the right proportion. That's why it is very rich in these nutrients. Why? Relatively less rich in plant nutrients. Why it is less rich? Because it is obtained by decomposition of plant and animal waste. So it is not in our hand to maintain the amount of nutrients or maintain the correct proportion of nutrient. So it is maybe comparatively or relatively less rich in plant nutrients. But we should prefer the use of manure because it is eco-friendly. It will never create any of the pollution like soil pollution or water pollution, and beneficial for your plants also because it will also provide nutrients to the soil, and by absorption of water and minerals it will move to the crop and good yielding will be obtained. The next agricultural practice is irrigation, supplying water to the crop at different intervals or as required by the crop is known as irrigation. Water is important for every living organism to survive, and plants also need water for their survival. Why it is so important? Because proper growth and development of flowers, fruits and seeds. As we all know, the conditions necessary for germination of seed are sunlight, air and water. So water is one of the basic necessity for germination of seed. And flowers are reproductive structure, and from the ovary of the flower, fruits are produced. So water is essential for growth and development of all these parts of the plant. Next is, along with water, minerals and fertilizers are also absorbed. Because we added fertilizers and manure in the soil, all the nutrients are present in the soil. These nutrients are get mixed with the water and are absorbed by roots of the crop or the plant and is transported throughout the plant, and it is very good for crop production. So water is essential for absorption of nutrients from the soil. It protects the plant from growth, frost and hot air current. So it maintains the moisture in the plant. Moisture is important for not drying up with the hot air currents and not spoiled because of frost. So water is very important. Time and frequency of watering plants. It varies from crop to crop, soil to soil and season to season. For example, in the hot weather or in the summer months, it needs irrigation is very important, and it needs continuously more amount of water for the survival of that crop or for the production of that crop. It requires more amount of water, and in rainy season it will require less amount of water. It also varies from crop to crop. So all of these are the important terms for which water is required, and it is also important for photosynthesis by which they make their own food. So all these are the importance of water, and supplying water is very important. Whenever plants require it, whenever it needs, you have to water them, otherwise they will dry up and your crop production will be failed. So it is important for them. And sources of irrigation in the ancient time was well, tube, pond and river, lakes, etc. And in traditional method of irrigations include the dragging of water from these sources, these natural sources, and pour the water into the fields. These methods include chain pump, rahar, mode, hickley, etc. And these processes involve human labor or has a good amount of human labor and time. That's why it was not comfortable. And water has to be removed out from these natural sources which are well, tube well, river, etc. Now modern methods of irrigation. There are two modern methods of irrigation which are explained to you in NCERT book. The first one is sprinkler system and second one is the drip irrigation. Sprinkler system is beneficial on the land which is uneven or lack of water is here. So water runs in the pipes and on the first end of the at one place of the pipe, a nozzle is fit on which tap is fit on which rotating nozzle is placed. So this plate will rotate like this. Whenever water runs in the pipe with pressure from the tap, then water flows out through this taps or rotating nozzle. So water sprinkles all around the ground, and this is the sprinkler method of irrigation. This way water to the far distance water goes and it absorbs a good amount of water. So it is very good for uneven land where water necessity is high. So that was sprinkler method. The next method is drip irrigation. It is beneficial for the fruits, etc. And in this system, in long pipes water run and holes are made on the lower end of these horizontal pipes, and water is poured drop by drop on the roots of just above the roots of the plant, and this root of the plant absorbs the water, and this method is known as drip irrigation because water is poured drop by drop directly on the plant root. So that is the water saving method of irrigation. That was all about the drip irrigation and sprinkler system of irrigation. So in this video we have discussed about the adding manure and fertilizers and irrigation system, and irrigation is simply supplying water to the crop at some of the intervals whatever required by the crop, and water supplying the frequency and timing depends on the crop by crop, differs from the crop by crop, season by season, or by soil. Water is important for every living organism. It is very important for growth and development of flower, fruit and seed, germination of seed. In the water, all the nutrients, all the minerals get mixed with, become soluble and easily dissolve in water, get mixed with the water and is absorbed by the roots of the plant. In this way it is transported throughout the plant and nourishes the plant, and better crop production will be done. Your crop will be grown healthy, and